You're listening to Why Germany podcast, the best place for relocation stories and expert tips, sponsored by Over the Offek, relocation agency to Germany, with your host, Eden Levine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Why Germany. With me is Olga. Thank you so much for joining.
My pleasure. Thank you, Eden.
All right. You have a very interesting story that I'm so eager to let everybody know already. But first, we start with everyone with the question, why Germany, Olga?
Yeah, I came to Germany about 4 years ago from Russia, from Moscow. And there was time I had to leave Russia for political reasons. And as a Jewish migrant, we have very good conditions in Germany. Yeah, we receive so-called Niederlassungserlaubnis, so it means permanent residency. So we had actually no choice. We had to come to Germany.
I don't think I had anybody saying it was no choice at all. We just come to Germany because we have to. But it's not really because you have to. Everybody will hear the whole story and then you'll understand a little bit more of what Olga is meaning about this. So Olga, how about you take us as far back as we need to get, so in order to understand everything behind your relocation story to Germany.
So it was 2018, and I could see where Russia was moving. I was a political activist, and what I did was not regarded as something good by Russian authorities, so it was time to leave. At first, actually, I considered Israel. My family lives in Israel. I visited it so many times. I spent a few months there. And when I first arrived in Israel, it was about 30 years ago, I stepped off the plane. It was Ben Gurion Airport. And I had this feeling, I am home. I'm not religious. I'm very practical. I'm on the scientific side of the life, but for the first time in my life, while breathing this hot desert air, yes, I still remember it, and it kind of struck me. I'm home, yeah. So I considered Israel, and I went to the embassy, and they started asking me for more and more documents, and I had 18 documents. 18 proving that I'm Jewish, and my ancestors back then to the 19th century were Jews. Yes, I started genealogical research, and I digged back and deep, so I got everything. But while visiting the Israeli consulate for the third time, they gave me a hint that they don't consider me to be a reliable Jew. They are not sure that I will stay there. I have all the family, 20, 30 people who live there. And I just couldn't understand that. And I thought maybe it's not my home. Yeah. And then I told my daughter, who was about 27 years old at the time, that yes, we have the right to go to Germany. And she was like, Mother, why didn't you tell me before? Yeah. But because of this Holocaust, I come from the family of survivors. I never considered Germany. And I'm the third generation. I knew these people personally who escaped Belarus, Weißrussland, yeah, and who survived. Not everybody survived. So that's a very, very tragic story. I'm a part of it. So my daughter, in 30 seconds, she said, Mama, we are immigrating to Germany. And we started collecting documents at the same evening. Yeah. Surprisingly, when we applied for the Germany immigration visa, we came to the embassy, and the first question was, hey, girls, you have such good documents proving your ethnicity. Why aren't you going to Israel? And we were like, yeah. But I came with the answer that we are European people, and my German was B1 level at the time. Yeah. I started learning like 25 years ago. Then I forgot it. Then I refreshed it. And yeah, we will learn it. But with Hebrew, we are not so smart. I told him I'm not so young, but I speak Hebrew. Yeah, but I didn't tell them. And they were satisfied. Yeah. And we got this permission in half a year without any questions. So we were kind of welcomed. Yeah. At the same time, my daughter applied for the master's degree in Germany, and she got approval very easily in a few months. So she could apply for 2 visas, for student visa or for immigration visa. So she applied for immigration visa because we have so many privileges. Yeah. So that's the story behind it.
I have so many questions.
Yes, you could ask why North Rhine-Westphalia, why Essen?
Okay, so you are now in Essen.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Let's start again from the beginning, because you were born in Belarus, right?
Yes. Yes.
And that was in the time where it still was the USSR, and basically it was still belonging to Russia, and yeah, different times. And yeah.
Yes. My Jewish part of family comes from Belarus. So I was born in Belarus, but my father was a colonel in the Soviet army.
Ah, wow.
So, yes. My father is Russian, a little bit Ukrainian, and according to a family legend, a little bit Jewish. Yeah. But officially,
a little bit Jewish.
A little bit, officially Russian, yeah.
But your Jewish like ancestors are more from the mother's side then?
Yeah, 99%. Yeah.
And wow, okay.
Maybe 100. It's a family legend, yeah? So from my father's side, it's just a legend. There was one ancestor who converted to Christianity in Ukraine to have a better life. Okay.
Like, I think this is amazing that they kind of force you to really know all of your family history from so far back. I mean, I don't think I know more than my grandparents, maybe a little bit, but that's it. But it's kind of... for those of you who don't know, in Israel, when you have to prove that you are Jewish, not by being born in Israel, that takes a long time, and very, as you mentioned, like so many documents, and like you really want to say like, I'm Jewish, just accept me already. And they're like, no, you need to show this and this and that. Can be so such a long process, but it's somehow then forces you to know your family history, and it's kind of interesting. It can be difficult to find all of those documents even.
Actually, I started doing genealogical search partly because of the pressure from Israeli consulate in Moscow, yeah, but partly because of my own interests. You can't imagine how many skeletons I found.
Wow. Yeah? Do you want to know those skeletons?
I was shocked, to be honest. Yeah, they were like ancestors because of this traumatic experience. From my mother's side, it was Jewish experience and Holocaust and Russian Empire. From my father's side, his granddad, he was a Russian priest. They were very, very famous priests. One of their ancestors is considered to be saint, officially acknowledged as saint by Russian Orthodox Church. So they were persecuted by communists in Stalin's time. And it was dangerous, and they were silent. I took it and put it on the surface, yeah?
Yeah, wow.
So shocking, but I found something in the Belarusian State Archive, a lot from the 19th century, yeah?
Wow.
And from Russian archives.
And all that you needed in order to prove that you were Jewish?
No. To prove my Jewish identity, I just need my birth certificate, which I had, and my mother's birth certificate, which she had. But I don't know what happened in Israeli consulate, for which reason they just didn't want me. And then my brother in Israel, he has very good contacts in Israeli parliament. He stepped in, and after all this, they called me, yes, and they told me, sorry, we'll issue your visa, but I told them no. I don't need it. My documents are okay. It was like, I don't know why it happened. Yeah, there is no reason. They just, I don't know. But I was digging deeper, trying to find more. Red Cross, they have a lot. The archive of Soviet Communist Party, they have a lot. They tracked everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's
that was helpful. I want to take you for a second back to that moment that you spoke about, that you came to Israel and you felt this is your home. Can you tell me, like, what was it about that you felt this is home for you?
Yeah, it's metaphysical. Yeah, I can't explain it. And when I went to Jerusalem, to this Western Wall, I burst out crying. Yeah.
Wow.
I come from a Soviet family, atheist. We had nothing Jewish in our family except for anti-Semitism from the outer world. Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah. They always remind you who you are. Yeah, okay. And some maybe sense of humor, and people are smart. But my grandmother spoke Yiddish, but only with her sisters, not with us. Yes, we spoke Russian. But I came to Kotel and I burst out crying. I just felt it. Yeah.
Put us in a timeline. So when was it that you decided, okay, I want to pursue maybe this move to Israel in the first time?
When I first time decided for sure that I needed to leave Russia. So where could a Jew go? To Israel, yeah?
So that was 2018.
It was like 2018, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then you came to Israel, and I mean, they told you that you're unreliant.
No. Jew. I came to Russia, to the Israeli consulate.
You didn't even get to Israel. You were just in the consulate. Okay.
Yes.
And they did not believe you're going to stay in Israel.
Each time they told me, bring these documents, the original, bring the documents from your aunt. And it sounded like crazy. I talked to my, actually not brother, cousin who lives in Israel. And he told me, Olga, it just
doesn't make sense. They don't want you to leave.
Yeah, they didn't want me. They didn't want me to leave. Yeah. So it was
so
like that.
The consulate in Moscow, they told you that you're also eligible to go to Germany because of your
No. To go to Germany, you have to go to German embassy in Moscow.
Yeah, okay.
They have nothing to do. They have nothing in common.
Yeah. So how did you discover that you can go to Germany, actually?
I have not known it for a long time, because I still remember when my relatives, they moved to Israel in 1991, there were no diplomatic connections with Israel. So they had to go first to Vienna and then from Vienna to Israel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when the Iron Curtain fell, they had a good life in Belarus, I must tell you. But the Iron Curtain fell and they all like stood up, old people, young babies, and went to Israel. And then I still remember these talks. They discussed and criticized somebody who went to Germany. They were kind of very, very critical, like Jew going to Germany. And this program, it's a compensation for Holocaust. How do we Jews accept this presence for Germany? Like these ones who go to Germany, they don't have dignity. So it was discussed this way. Yeah, I know some stories. People stopped talking to family members with those who immigrated to Germany.
Oh, yes. My.
But mostly it was okay. Yeah. So I knew about it actually, but I never considered it. I traveled a lot, but I never visited Germany because of their family history.
Wow. So you then discover with your daughter that you are eligible to get a visa immediately from Germany.
Yes, not immediately. Yes, we apply, wait for 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. And yeah, but you could apply immediately. Yeah. And I just told it to her without thinking much. And she was absolutely astonished.
But was she supposed to come with you to Israel with your first initial thought?
No, she didn't want it. Yeah. She visited it. She didn't like it. She wanted to stay in Moscow. She had a good career as a lecturer at university, as a scientist. But she also started considering emigrating. Yeah. And she started looking into master programs in Europe, like in Britain, or English-speaking programs in France, in Germany. Yeah. So it was like that.
And she was like, "Oh my God! Now we have the actual opportunity in Germany."
Why didn't you tell me? She made me feel guilty. She didn't know about it. Yeah.
Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah. Better late than never. Yeah. And I tell everybody, I just followed my daughter.
Okay. And so you came to the embassy. You gave them all the document. After 6 months, you were allowed to go to Germany, and
Yes.
you chose Essen because of your daughter's degree studies.
No. She got a place in Saarbrücken. It's Saarland University, and she wanted it because the program was suitable to what she really wanted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, we chose North Rhine-Westphalia because my daughter had visited Düsseldorf before, and she liked it. As I had never visited Germany, I said, okay, let's go to Düsseldorf, yeah. But we decided to leave Russia forever. So we put our Moscow flat on sale, and immediately we decided to invest in real estate in Germany, yeah. But Düsseldorf is quite expensive, and we couldn't afford a flat for this money in Düsseldorf. So I went to a real estate agency in Moscow, and they have subsidiary in Düsseldorf. And they told me, look, Essen is a good city, big city with infrastructure. I said, Essen, where is that? They showed me the map, not far from Düsseldorf, girl. I said, okay, so let's start looking for a flat in Essen.
Yeah.
And we started looking for a flat, and I made a preliminary choice of the flat online. The real estate agent, she visited. Yes, it's kind of crazy adventure. Brave, yeah. She showed me these flats online. I kind of gave a preliminary yes to one of the flats. Yes, so we came to Essen. That is why.
I want to stop you for a second because this is something you mentioned something, and I want to put the focus on it for a second. You mentioned that for people who were part of former Soviet Union and those who basically were affected by the Second World War, they definitely did not consider Germany as a place to live. And if you even go there, you're kind of like a traitor, or like, how dare you? And I mean, you were part of this mentality, even if you were not directly seeing anything, or if you were not affected very directly, but you still in that surrounding, for sure, some of this mentality also affected you. Yeah. And I know a lot of people, when I told them that I go to Germany or I go to live in Germany and even completely immigrate, they were like, how can you, after everything that happened? And mind you, people who originally come from Africa, they definitely have no touch in the Second World War and so on. Mm-hmm. So how did you manage to basically contradict all of these sayings, even from most likely within you, from that mentality that was imposed by the environment? And you're now saying like so easily, yes, Düsseldorf, Essen, we can just hop in as if it was, very easy. How was this conflict solved from inside for you?
Yeah, I followed my daughter. Yeah, so just majority instincts, they played the crucial role. Yeah, but deep inside, I resisted. Yeah, It took me a lot to overcome my inner resistance. I didn't like this country. I hated the language, I must tell you.
But you knew it.
C1, yeah.
It was B1 before.
No, B1 was in Moscow. I passed B1 in Moscow while preparing for immigration. Uh-huh. Yes, 1 year ago, I passed C1.
Wow, okay.
Yes, I learned it. Yeah, I did that. but I resisted. I hated all these rules, lack of emotions. I didn't have much choice. I didn't want to go back. I didn't know any better place to go. And I started to integrate. I love foreign languages. I speak French, English, and a little bit Hebrew, limited, and some German. I love German. Yeah, I love languages, And I must say I'm quite quick at learning it. The languages help me to distract from reality, to run away from reality. Yeah. And I didn't know what to do, but I started preparing for B2 just to escape it. Yeah. And I passed it after 3 months. I arrived in Germany without visiting any course.
Then how did you learn?
I bought all possible B1 course books, everything where it's available. Reading, watching YouTube, Netflix, and I switched off all other languages, all applications, my windows. I wrote all complaints and requests in German. I was sweating. I was swearing. I hated it, but it was very uncomfortable zone. But I was there. With B2, I felt comfortable to communicate with my neighbors, with other people, going to doctors, going to banks. And I felt free.
Wow. That is impressive.
And I started to resist a little bit less. I still hated that, but not that much.
Are you considering relocation to Germany? Visit us now at www.overtheoffic.com and schedule a call with us right now.
So knowing the language more helped you with removing resistance, basically.
Yes, it helped me at this first stage a lot. First of all, it's my way to escape the reality. And then it gave me freedom to somehow started, diving into this reality.
I find it actually interesting that you're saying that you didn't like the lack of emotions and you didn't like how strict the rules are. And I must tell you, the people I know who come from former Soviet Union are actually quite similar in mentality. So how different was it actually for you, the mentality here in Germany than Russia? Basically.
Very different. Now, I come from a Jewish family. Yes, we are like that. We talk a lot. We interrupt each other. As for my friends and the people who were around me, we are emotional. Maybe at first sight, Russians and other Soviet people, they're like that, gloomy. Then you start talking. In half an hour, you are friends. You are invited to someone's house for dinner. Next weekend, you go together on a picnic. Next weekend, you lend some money from them, and so on. Yes, it's like that. But at first sight, people seem gloomy. Yes, maybe that if you speak their language and somehow give emotional response, you have a great connection. Yeah.
So you're saying there is a shell, but the shell is very thin. You can break it very quickly.
Very quickly, Not that quickly as in Spain or Italian, but quite quickly.
But thinner than Germans, you're saying.
It's absolutely different.
Yeah. And how's your daughter doing in Germany?
We arrived during Corona time. That was awful. It added to our frustration. And we were like together. In Russia, we lived separately. And we were living in a small flat provided by the government. While we were waiting for all these formalities to move to our own flat, we lived in kind of hostel. We had a small flat, basic. And we were together. And because of Corona, she didn't go to Saarbrücken. She could stay with me and study online. That was great plus. So she was doing her master. She met a great young man. After Corona, we started going to language exchange clubs. Because we used every opportunity to speak German. How uncomfortable it was, we just ignored it. Okay. And at the language, we were together at the language exchange club, and she met that young man who was born in Russia. He's Russian German, but he doesn't speak Russian. He understands it completely. He speaks German, yeah. And they started going out together, and they married 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so happy. Yeah. And you've mentioned that they did not get married in Germany.
Yes. They wanted to apply in Germany, but it didn't seem possible to get married in Germany because her husband was born in Russia, and they told him to go to Russia to get some documents.
Wow. And he doesn't even speak the language.
He doesn't speak. He came to Germany, he was 8 years old, and now he's 30-something, yeah? And he's a holder of Russian passport, which was not renewed for 20 years.
Oh, God.
And they told him to renew it.
But he has a German passport.
Yeah, he has two. It was just crazy. And they got in touch with Danish marriage authorities. And it was super easy. They applied in German. They have an electronic system. And they asked for 2 papers, no more. In 3 weeks, they got an approval. And they went to Denmark and got married in a hotel. It's like conveyor. It's like, production line, yeah? The ceremony lasts 2 minutes. All foreigners from Germany come to Denmark. It's a place not far from the border. 2 minutes, the next.
For those of you who don't know, actually also a lot of Germans are doing that because it is much easier, even for Germans. You've just heard now, not only immigrants that have 2 passports, but even those who have only 1, which is German. A lot of people are going to Denmark to get married, and it's not far. It's quite easy. And as you mentioned, 2 minutes and boom, you're married, and you don't need more than that. And a lot of them are just, hanging around for the weekend or something like that, having a celebration with their families, or even with the families, it's easy to come there. So it's really, it's always I'm hearing about this, and I'm like, I wonder what's about Denmark that all the people are going to get married there, and why is it so easy? But
it's a lucrative business in Germany.
Yeah,
they stay in a 5-star hotel, and everybody does. So great.
And it doesn't cost that much, as far as I understand. So, yeah, if you're thinking about getting married in Germany, maybe think again. No, but it's very much true, especially if you're not holding of all of your documents from wherever you come from. That is, it can be difficult. So I want to talk a little bit more about what you do now in Essen. Tell us.
So I started my own business. As I studied finance at university in Russia back then I worked in market research and strategic planning. I was also self-employed business consultant in Russia, but then I had a break in Russia. I did some other things. I tried many different things. And I've been self-employed for about 20 years, and I can't imagine working for somebody. Yes, I can if there is no choice, for sure. And first of all, I decided to be a relocation agent, yes, like your potential competitor. Yeah. In 2022, I worked as an interpreter when Ukrainians started to arrive in Germany. There was a great demand for Russian-speaking people. So first of all, I joined Caritas as a volunteer, and I worked there as an interpreter. And a couple of weeks later, I got a job offer to work as an interpreter for 14 euros an hour.
Wow.
But they accepted, non-professionals. Yeah. But the good thing about it was that you work by different German offices like Sozialamt, Job Center, Jugendamt, I don't know how to say it in English, Immigration Office, Youth Office, whatever.
Employment Office.
Employment Office. And it was a great chance to learn how it all works. So I agreed. And I worked there. And after 6 months, I was ready to leave and start my own business. And I registered as an Integrationsberater, relocation consultant. And so I started my Gewerbe, like this self-employment. I helped 2 other friends to do that. And they told me, you're doing it so well. Why don't you start working as a business consultant? You have education. I thought, yeah, why not? So I added business consultancy to it, yeah. And I started it. I made a huge strategic mistake at the moment, but it didn't prevent me from being successful. Yeah, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I talked to my friend from Moscow, and I helped her she lives in Bochum here. I helped her to start her business. It's an online language school. And she was very active in Moscow, so she has a lot of experience. We talked to her, and she told me that, okay, you see, about 1 million Ukrainians coming to Germany were very active, and they will be your target audience, yeah, and you will be very, very successful. And counting on that, I started that. But I didn't expect that they will get all possible and impossible social benefits, and they are not until now they are not motivated to work. And self-employment starts and finishes with one consultancy. When they hear about taxes and social contributions, and then that they lose social benefits, they just disappear. Yeah. So only very limited number, like 1, 2, 3, started their own self-employed. Very limited. Anyway, it worked because in few months I signed a contract with a government organization who was financed by our city to provide free consultancy and seminars to Ukrainians. So they paid money to me. I worked with Ukrainians. It was free to them. And I'm still there. Yes, there are not many Ukrainians who come for consultancy. They don't need it. But for a start, it was great. People came, and it was very good that people get aware of me in the region. I live in the rural area. It's a metropolis with 5 million people, so everything is near. Yeah, Northern Rhine-Westphalia, 17 million people. Like, people know each other. And I got lots of experience. So it was at the start. And then I started getting Russian clients who don't get social benefits, real, serious businessmen, motivated, yeah. And little by little, I'm moving to English-speaking clients. I had some from Latin America, gave some consultancy, yeah. And I want to move to this direction, working with Russian-speaking clients, English-speaking clients, and Germans also, yeah. They're quite prejudiced against this business consulting. And there are not many foreigners. And as a woman business consultant, they look at me as though I'm a rare monkey. So that's my business now, and I'm extremely happy with this career, believe me. Yeah,
I can't believe you. So if I understand correctly, you're helping people relocating their business, or also if it's their first time that they're opening it here in Germany, then they also can come to you?
Mostly first time opening, yeah. GmbH, self-employment, everything. Relocating business to Germany from third countries, not EU, it's not easy, almost impossible.
Which is very not easy to get.
It's okay. Yeah, you must be young and have money, and then I'll do the rest. Yeah? You could get it, really, really.
Be young and with money.
Yes.
That's your formula.
Exactly.
So tell me, what is the biggest challenge that a lot of immigrants are facing when they want to open a business here in Germany?
First of all, of course, bureaucracy. I will not be original, mentioning it. If they are not prevented from it with taxes and contributions, and they decide to start it, then they are put off with bureaucracy. These papers coming in endlessly, coming. And as you start, there are so many things to do as business process, finances, personnel, and everything, but you are kind of there's a pile of these papers an owner has to deal with, yeah. And for foreigners, yeah, it's really difficult. Yes, I have a client who registered GmbH, yeah, GmbH,
LLC, it's in English, I think.
limited, yeah, LLC or LTD, yeah, in January, and now it's June. We can't get a tax number. But so many papers, he pays so much to industry and trade chamber. A lot of papers come and demand to pay, but he can't start because there is no tax number. Finanzamt sends inquiries, yeah. And he's a tough man. He has businesses in Russia, in other countries. He's a real businessman, yeah, like a serious one with imagination, yeah. He can't start, and I see how disappointed he is. And a part of my job is supporting him, even mentally, yeah, not only feeling this in and formulating how to write to these authorities that these papers we can't get even from the hell. And I have to explain it. So that's the biggest challenge. And of course, taxes. Yeah, you start your business, you pay the same, but you need to invest. Yeah, and still you invest, you write it off from your taxes, but you need also to think about it, how to do it in a very creative and legal way.
Yeah, but do you recommend people to start a business in Germany?
Of course I do, because I don't know anything different. Yeah. If I work for somebody, it's because I have a goal. Like, yeah, as I worked as an interpreter, I did it for my own purposes. Yeah, but not everyone is suited to self-employment, especially to self-employment to Germany. Yeah, if it doesn't involve too much financial risk, okay, try it. Yeah, and you will see, especially married women. So why not? Yes, they're quite secure if husbands work or whatever, try it. And when people get social benefits from job center, from this employment agency, I would call it unemployment agency, yeah, because people are stuck there forever, yeah, and they don't motivate. And they can combine getting unemployment benefits and doing their business, and it's not risky at all. But they don't do it because they start earning. Oh, I will not get all the money I earn. No, you will not. But you are safe. And this is the price you pay for this safety and security. Yeah. I mean, if you want to try, just try and be realistic. Yeah. But it could be more challenging than in people's own countries.
Yeah.
Because in Russia, in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan, in East Europe, it's very easy. It's not control. It's not control until you start earning good money. But at this level, if you are alone, solo employed or whatever, it's very easy. And no bureaucracy, apps, digitalization, everything. Yeah. Here it's more difficult. So I recommend people to be realistic. Yeah. Evaluate risks, and then take a decision, set goal, and go for it.
Yeah, go for it, do it. And I think it's shown in what you're saying for so long that you have this entrepreneurial spirit, and it's good you are also helping others to pursue it and to find their own way to do it in Germany as well. So I want to ask you for a tip for any newcomer who comes to Germany. What would be one tip that you give them?
First, be realistic, and that's a different country. Even if you are good and brilliant, like imagine, this fish in the Red Sea, yeah, in Eilat, this bright fish. But if you put this fish from the Red Sea in the Mediterranean Sea, the fish are gray, the water is not that salty, and these bright fish will be perceived by other fish not so well. This is parallel to immigration, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to find this place among these gray fish, not brilliant ones, maybe, in another water, in another sea. And it takes time. It's a different environment and everything. And small things could be frustrating. So my tip is be realistic about it, and that will help. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you're saying basically understand that you're coming to a new territory, to a new environment, and it takes time, and you need to be realistic about your expectations of how it's going to go in the first month or two, or even half a year. It takes time to adjust.
Yes, and social contacts are very important. You come, you have nothing, yeah? In my own country, I had so many contacts. I needed a doctor, a lawyer, and everything. Just one call, one message. Everything is sorted out in 5-10 minutes, yeah, through social contacts, yeah. I don't need to, my friend is a lawyer, friend's friend is another lawyer, or financial advisor, and kind of you could get a lot of things for free because you give them something useful. You have also contacts, or you could advise something. But here you come, and the reality is you have to pay, yeah, for some kind of consultancy. Yeah, people look for a flat. Either their German is not good, they need somebody to help, or their German is quite good, but they don't understand how it works and contracts. And so they need to find somebody and pay. So either you pay or you build up this social network, or in most cases you do both, and you have to save your energy. Yeah,
Absolutely.
this is reality that needs or should be accepted, I would say. Yeah.
So take your time to integrate, and while you take your time, build your network.
Yeah. And if you can pay for some services, why not? Save your time. Time is a very valuable asset.
It's time, but it's also a mental overload that it can be if you need to learn everything from scratch, if you need to then utilize your German, that it could be bare minimum or zero. So that would be also helpful to have somebody who knows.
You call it a mental burden. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Because for some people it's anxiety, for some people it's fear, for some people it's just sort of a lot of stress.
When I arrived, it was a mental burden reading all this bureaucratic German, which is as I call it, bureaucratic German is a different type of drama.
Absolutely. It's a whole language of its own. Yeah. Even Germans don't understand it sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Olga, I want to thank you so much for joining our episode. It was wonderful. Such an interesting story. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was very happy to share all this, with you and the audience. You also have a good day.
And you are going to be able to see how to connect with Olga in our episodes information. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Why Germany. If you want to learn more about relocation, make sure to visit overtheoffic.com, your relocation experts.